Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. In the world of American finance, one institution stands out above the rest in its power and influence. It is the Federal Reserve. It sets interest rates, it influences global markets, and it guards the U.S. economy. The independence of the Federal Reserve is one of the decisive factors when it comes to the stability of U.S. economy and its role globally. And right now, once again, Donald Trump has it in his sights. During Trump's second term, a pressing question has reemerged. And that question is, can the United States president actually take control of the Federal Reserve? The answer is very complicated, it is very controversial, and possibly more consequential than ever before. Trump's ongoing war with the Fed isn't new, of course. During his first presidency, as many of you might recall, he routinely lashed out at Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He blamed the central bank for holding back the economy by keeping interest rates too high. He even floated around the idea of firing Powell, something that no president has ever done before. Now, in his second term, Trump is escalating that conflict. On August the 25th, as you may recall, in a move that stunned Washington and everyone who was observing, Trump attempted to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook over allegations that were tied to mortgage application discrepancies. Cook, whose term actually runs all the way through 2038, fired back with a lawsuit accusing Trump of violating the Fed's independence and acting unlawfully. The legal battle isn't just about Cook, of course. It is about whether a U.S. president can fire any Fed official, and the courts will now have to decide. The law does give the president power to remove Fed governors, but only for cause. That means serious misconduct or negligence, not disagreements over policy. President Trump's escalating attacks on the Federal Reserve, including threats to replace Chair Jerome Powell and to dismiss Governor Lisa Cook, that marks an unprecedented challenge to central bank independence. Established by the 1951 Treasury-Ford Accord, the Fed's autonomy allows it to set interest rates free from political influence. And here you would ask me, well, why is that important? Well, it is important because it insulates monetary policy from short-term political pressures and interests. The independence of the Federal Reserve ensures long-term economic stability, and it helps control inflation, among many other things. By the way, this has been shown in studies by the IMF, which I would be happy to dive deeper into over on my Substack. It appears that Trump's team is now effectively testing the boundaries of that rule and possibly setting up a bigger move, which would be to remove Jerome Powell himself. Trump and his allies have seized on a $2.5 billion renovation project at the Fed's Washington headquarters, accusing Powell of mismanagement and deceptive testimony to Congress. They're using it to build a case for cause. So far, no evidence has actually proven that these claims are accurate, but politically, the groundwork is already being laid. Jerome Powell isn't just a Fed governor, by the way, he's also the chair of the board of the Federal Open Market Committee, which sets interest rates. While the law protects Fed governors from being removed without cause, it doesn't say as much about the chair. That role is more of a designation, one that the president technically can control. But even if Trump removes Powell as chair, Powell could sit on the board still and possibly remain on the FOMC, depending on how the members vote. Legal experts agree that it is a legal and constitutional gray zone at this point, and if Trump makes a move, it could set off the biggest test of Fed independence in modern history. President Trump has already begun reshaping the Fed through appointments, by the way, and with two more Trump-appointed governors, His allies would make up a majority of the 7-member board. But keep in mind, the Fed's policymaking group, the FOMC, includes not just the board, but the 12 regional bank presidents. And those are not presidential appointments. They are selected by each reserve bank, subject to board approval. Still, the more seats that Trump fills, the more influence he has. And that's where his real power lies, not just in firing, but also in hiring. But Trump isn't just working through formal channels, he's also using public pressure, media appearances, and executive orders to bend the Fed towards his economic agenda. Donald Trump previously claimed that he understands interest rates better, quote, and this is a quote, he said that he understands them better than the Fed, and he's not shy about telling them when they're wrong, especially when they hold rates steady instead of cutting them. Back in February, Trump issued an executive order demanding that the Fed board submit regulatory changes for White House review. This is a move that many saw as a challenge to Fed independence back then. And while monetary policy was exempt from this order, the message was very clear. The Fed works in Trump's Washington now. Trump isn't the first president to pressure the Fed. Lyndon Johnson actually summoned a Fed chair to his Texas ranch to intimidate him once. Nixon famously strong-armed the Fed in the 1970s, contributing to the runaway inflation that followed. But no modern president has tested the Fed's boundaries like Trump. His actions raise an uncomfortable question. Is the Fed truly independent? Can it be truly independent? And Powell insists that it is and that it can. He says the Fed is guided only by what's best for the economy, not politics. But critics point out the Fed works closely with Congress, it works very closely with the Treasury, and yes, the White House too. So can Trump take control of the Federal Reserve legally? There are limits, of course. Politically, he's pushing those limits, and strategically, he's finding every single crack in the system and driving a wedge. Whether he succeeds may depend on the courts, the Senate, of course, and public opinion, but one thing is certain at this point: the battle for the Federal Reserve has clearly begun, and its outcome could reshape not just American monetary policy, but the balance of power between politics and the economy for generations to come. Let me know what you think about the Federal Reserve's independence right now and whether President Trump will succeed in challenging it. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. I would love to see you there, and I'll see you back here on my channel tomorrow. Take care.